Hi, my name is Cherry, and I'm here to show you how you can paint wooden signs for fun or profit. My signs are actually painted on plywood, and I cut them to any size I want, and I go to the store and try to find as smooth as plywood as I can find, because they do have little rough edges, but it's a cheaper way to go, and it actually looks like a sign more than, a canvas you really can't put outside. So I just want to go over some of my paintings I've done, and then we'll go over what supplies you need and how I arrived at getting the pictures that I have here on my paintings. And I am not a professional, so I'm just saying if you are artistic in any way, you can do this. I have sold these without intention to, because I was just painting them, but I did sell quite a few, and I have a lot of orders, so it is a nice project. If you love to paint, you can make money on selling these. They're different, and they're whimsical, which I like. And all of them are sealed, and you can find out what to use to seal them so you can put them outside. So let's go over first. I'm going to show you a few more of my paintings. And okay, down here. Again, some of mine are more primitive looking, like the fresh eggs for sale. I like the primitive. This is just an old board I put away to use for something, and here it is. So that fresh eggs for sale, I wanted to look primitive, as well as the little piggies for sale. That one has a roughness to it and more primitive looking. And over here is more flowers. It's garden time, so I thought those would be really neat. And here again is a primitive sign of drink coffee, and I left it on as rough a board as I could find and made it look more primitive. This is a sign I made for our waterfall. And on some of these I did use enamel paints because they're so much more durable if you have to have them out in the weather all the time in the sun and such. So that's what I did there. And let's see, we'll go over, and here's another one I made on just a piece of wood. I don't know what it came out of, but I thought that turned out pretty good. Again, this one I think is enamel paint. And here I have just a few stacked up. They're not out, but again, that's mostly just lettering. So with all my signs, I like to always have a phrase, because to me that's what a sign is. Some of them are quotes that you hear a lot, and some aren't. And I thought The Life Began in the Garden was kind of a good title, and I get them from songs or biblical verses or just whatever. The honeybee one was cute to do. A chick for sale, that was more primitive looking there. And some of the ones I have sold that I don't have here. This one was going to Alaska. They're tired of the hate. They wanted Only Love Can Enter, and they wanted a moose. So I just came up with this, and I did kind of a wood style letter here to make it look woodsy and put a couple aspen trees in. This one I have hanging out on my porch. The welcome sign, with the different little flowers and my froggies. I love to paint froggies. And this one, I got the verse from the song at church, I Come to the Garden Alone. But that was neat. I made that for my pastor's wife. And again, we have those little froggies. I go to the computer and look for, different designs, like if I want to put frogs in something or make sunflowers. Or this is one of my egg signs I found. That's how I got that one. I made a little bigger, larger pattern and used that. The coffee sign, I found this one, and I Made a little bigger pattern for that one also. This is my honeybee hive that I put on my sign over there. So it's fun just looking up patterns on, like, pictures of whimsical frogs or paintings or drawings of mushrooms or flowers, whatever you want. It's just fun time doing that. And I cut them out because I can trace just on my board on them and fill the inside out, and make them, print them on like 8x10 or 5x7, whatever size I want. So you're going to need, of course, your paints, acrylic paints. So you will want to get a variety of colors, and you go to your computer and how to paint, what paints to get. You always have a laptop or computer, and you're going to do a lot of practice, I'm sure, on making different flowers and frogs. But I'm not going over that with you on how to paint things, because you can find that on your computer. And just start with like how to paint a sunflower, and then you'll get so many ideas and pick out your own, and pretty soon you'll have your own. All mine seem to be a little different, but so anything you make, go to your computer. There's some talented people out there, and paint along with them until you want to start your own sign, and just begin. I've had so much fun with it. On my background paints, I don't use acrylic paint so much. I get the quart size of the outdoor paints and a primer. Always get a white primer, because you got to prime your plywood. I prime both sides, and then I put I like maybe put some brown on and some green and maybe a little blue, and then just kind of paint it all in and scurry it around, see what you like. I find that the tans and greens and lighter colors will show you what you're drawing up better, so that'll be your experiments. Another thing I love to have are paint pens. The U-Mark ones have the thicker tip on them, and they are pretty weather resistant. They're a good pen, so you can get them online. I get them on Amazon in different colors. And the other paint markers, they will get different tips, like fine tip, medium tip, and different colors. And you'll use those like whatever you need to make little dots and whatever. And I outline all of my paintings with black marker, and I usually use the heavy marker because they're a sign and they show up better, much better when you outline everything. As you can see on this painting, everything is pretty much outlined, the lettering except the black. The bees are all outlined, the flowers are outlined. And you see this board, the background, I have some tan and some light greens, and I just kind of swirl them all together and make a pretty color background. So that's what you will want to do there. And I've learned to just do my bumblebees with paint pens, and they, especially if they're small, and they work out really well. So again, when you want to paint a bumblebee, go to YouTube, how to paint bumblebees. And you'll get your own style and the ones you like best. And these are the ones I kind of like. They're easy to draw, and I think I'm going to do a tutorial on just how to paint bumblebees on most anything, and it's good for kids too. They'll have a ball at doing that. So this has been so much fun. You will need paintbrushes, of course, all different styles. I've gotten some at house sales or whatever, but if they go on sale, just buy you some, and then you go to YouTube again, what paintbrushes to buy, and you'll experiment with that and which ones to use where, and they come on sale also. So get a variety of paintbrushes. This is the one-shot enamel paint that I use on my signs. If I want something real durable outside, you can buy that online. And all my stencils, I have a big variety in sizes 1 inch, 2 and 3 inch. Mostly that's all I will need to use. I put them in plastic bags and cut them in pieces so I can lay them out in my sign and get them just right. So you'll want to get some stencils. They aren't that expensive, and then sometimes I make my own, like the wood ones. I go online and get a few patterns and I kind of make my own. I use chalk, white chalk, and a pencil when I draw out my patterns on my board. The chalk is, you can paint over it and it won't get in your paint or anything, and you can wipe it. It wipes off real easy, so you don't want to touch it if you get it on there. If you have something on your board that you know you want in that place, I use a pencil and then paint that. Any other paint kind of gets in your acrylic paint, so I don't use that. So anyway, that's how I got started on this, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with it, and maybe your kids would love to do it. Right behind the signs here, let me take these down. I have the supplies you will need that you can write down. And let me go over that with you here. Project supplies, of course, have your laptop or your computer. I set up a card table and go to how to paint, like how to paint my butterfly, and find the ones I like, and learn how to paint sunflower, how to paint a daisy, and very important if you do a lot of flowers, how to paint leaves. I had a tricky time with those. And how to paint frogs. So just how to paint whatever you want. Go to your computer and practice. So we have laptop, computer, a variety of paint brushes, your acrylic paints, and your acrylic pens. I don't know, they're actually acrylic, and you can get enamel pens. Your plywood, have somebody cut the size you want. Your lettering stencils. A hair dryer. See, when you get to painting, like say you paint your first layer of sunflower, you want to go over again and maybe highlight it and that. So get your hair dryer out and dry it out. It dries out really fast, so you can repaint over it. So a hair dryer is really handy. And of course your patterns that you find that you want to put on your paintings, like frogs or whatever you come up with. You need paper towels and water, of course, to clean your paint brushes in between with water. Just get a cup and a couple cups of water. Your chalk and a pencil. And a yardstick I use because I like to outline my paintings with a little edge. I take a yardstick and I use my marker pen to go along the lines and do that. And then when I come back, I put the little dots in with the marker pens also. I think it just kind of sets off your painting. So that's how I do that. And I get the outdoor paint at the hardware store, house paint. I get it in quarts, whatever I want to use. Tans, light greens, white primers, and you could get a light blue also if you like a little blue in your, or you can use your acrylics to do that. So you'll need to do your background, and like I said, primer first. And I hope you have a lot of fun with this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me about them. And if you like my video, please press like and follow. I intend to come up with a lot more things. My husband's going to demonstrate how to use a plasma cutter to cut silhouettes. We did that for 10 years and made a lot of extra money on the side with that. So we have a lot of things coming up, so I hope you follow me. And we have garden tours and a lot of things I think if you're artsy you would like to follow. So thanks so much for visiting, and my name is Cherry Ray, and I hope to see you again.